Alright, let's dive in. Let me tell you something. This isn't some fluffy, motivational nonsense. We're about to break the walls that have been keeping you stuck, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is about getting to the core of your being, ripping out the outdated software of your mind, and installing a new operating system that actually works. One that will push you into the life you always knew you were capable of. Alright, let's get clear. When you get triggered, when that memory pops up, when the old limiting belief rises like a beast from the deep, it pulls you in. You're in the middle of it, completely consumed by the emotional gravity. You can't think straight. You're too distracted by the emotional charge, the heaviness, the weight of it. Your mind has been through this drill so many times it's automatic. Your brain literally grooves this pattern, like it's the only song on the playlist. You can't escape it. But listen, there's another way. When you learn to intentionally step into that memory, that belief, with grounded awareness, you gain control. Imagine stepping into a scene in your mind, like you're watching a movie on a screen. You're not part of the drama anymore. You're just a witness, from this place of calm. You can look at that old belief from a completely different angle, reframe it, and suddenly the emotional charge starts to dissipate. Think of it like this. Imagine you've been holding a burning ember in your hands for years, believing it's part of who you are. You keep gripping it, thinking you have to. But when you decide, I'm not going to keep holding this damn thing anymore, you drop it. That's the shift. You let go of the trauma that you've been carrying like a badge of honour. You release it, and guess what happens? Your brain, which has been stuck on that repetitive loop, it starts to rewire itself. No more autopilot response. You've been through a bad breakup. Every time you see or hear anything related to the ex, that feeling of rejection hits you. You're not thinking rationally. The emotional gravity pulls you back into the past. But when you learn to view the memory with a stable emotion, like peace or curiosity, it starts to lose its grip. The neural path of hurt, sadness, rejection, it starts to weaken. Your brain finds a new route, a new way to process the information, a new belief. I'm worthy of love. This didn't define me. It was just a lesson. Let's say you have a fear of public speaking. Every time you think about it, your heart races. That old limiting belief. I'm not good enough. I'll embarrass myself. You can't reframe it in the heat of the moment, right? But once you step into that memory intentionally, with a calm mind, you can see it differently. You can create a new belief. I'm prepared. I've something valuable to share. And people appreciate my message. The science behind this. Why does it work? Why can you change your brain's neural wiring? Because your brain is neuroplastic. It can change, rewire, and evolve. That's a scientific fact. You can literally change the connections, the grooves in your brain with intention every time you choose to reframe something from a grounded place. You strengthen new neural connections. You break the old ones down. This isn't some woo-woo concept. This is science that your brain is malleable. The more you interrupt those old neural pathways, the easier it becomes. It's like building a new road in your brain. At first, it's tough to drive through, full of potholes and bumps. But the more you drive that road, the smoother it gets, and eventually it becomes your new normal. Now let's talk about what happens when you interrupt those old patterns. Most people, they get tired when they try to change these neural grooves. They get frustrated because they think they have to keep forcing it. But you don't have to keep fighting. You simply need to trust the process. The more you walk that new path, the easier it gets. Think about a time when you were learning to ride a bike. The first time you were wobbly, unsteady, scared of falling. But after riding again and again, your body learned. The new neural pathway for balance and control was built. Now, without thinking, you can hop on and ride without a second thought. That's how your mind works too. It learns to create new patterns automatically. The key: you don't need to keep fighting to change. You just need to trust the process, keep repeating it, and allow your unconscious to take over the work. Eventually, the new response becomes your default, your autopilot. This is where the magic happens. Understanding your personality. It's just your default trauma response. This one's huge. You think you know yourself, right? You think you've got your personality nailed down, but here's the kicker. Your personality. It's just your trauma response that you've rehearsed so many times it became your default mode. Your personality. It's just a story you've told yourself, and your brain has repeated it so often it believes it's true. Let me say it again. Your personality is not fixed. It's just your brain's default response to unresolved trauma. And I'm not here to tell you it's your fault, but it's time to take ownership of the fact that you've been playing this role your whole life. You'll say I'm shy, but really, that's just your brain's conditioned response to the fear of judgment. The more you repeated it, the more it became your personality. But once you realise that's just your unconscious response to fear, you can change it. Instead of saying I'm shy, start saying I'm confident, I'm capable, and that becomes your new normal. So why do we get stuck? Let's break it down. Why do we get stuck in these limiting beliefs and patterns in the first place? The truth is, most people, they have no idea they're stuck. They get comfortable in their suffering. They don't realise their beliefs about themselves, about their limits, about their personality. They're simply the result of years of repeating the same thing over and over and over again. You've old stories in your head. You're running an old belief about yourself, those placed by past trauma, and now your brain believes it's true. But that doesn't have to be your truth anymore. It's time to rewrite that story. So what happens when you don't interrupt these patterns? If you don't, you stay stuck. You keep reliving the same trauma, the same negative beliefs, and your life will keep reinforcing those beliefs. It's like being caught in an endless loop. And every time you get triggered, you spiral back into the same old responses. Think about it. If you keep holding on to a belief that says, I'm not worthy, that belief keeps shaping your reality. You won't take risks. You won't believe in your own potential. You won't go after the things that are actually aligned with your highest self. But once you decide to interrupt the loop, you reframe those beliefs. You start to create a life based on empowerment, confidence, and your true potential, not the limiting beliefs that have held you back for so long. So why is this all so important? This is how you change your life. When you stop believing that your past defines you, when you stop holding onto those limiting beliefs, you become the creator of your own reality. You take control. No more waiting for someone else to change things for you. No more playing the victim. You can now consciously decide to walk a new path. A path that's aligned with your highest self. You're in the driver's seat now. This isn't just some philosophical idea. This is real, actionable change that starts within you. And once you get this, once you really start to see how your brain works, how you can interrupt old patterns, how you can choose new beliefs, you're unstoppable. So you're ready to make that change. Are you ready to rewrite your story? To take the reins and create a life that reflects who you truly are? The truth is, you always had the power to do this. Now it's time to make it happen.